Today, I'm going to be giving you guys 14 different tips that pros do not want you to know. Straight away, what you're going to want to do is enhance your colors. You can simply do this by going to your settings, go to graphic style, and then click on custom color. But if you're extremely lazy, here's a couple of custom colors that I've seen from your favorite creators around the world, and what I personally use in the game right now instead. I would definitely recommend tweaking it to your own personal preference, but if you don't want to do that, then so be it. Since we're on the topic of seeing your enemies, another thing you'll want to do is adjust your FOV. Increasing your FOV can allow you to see a lot more in the map. However, it does also make your enemies further away from you, at least visually. So if you're on a phone, put it a little bit lower, and if you're on a tablet, put it very high. But not maxing it out, as nowadays, that's not a good idea like it used to be. This is a side tip, but download Call of Duty Mobile using my link in the description down below, as they sponsored today's video. You're also going to want to lower your graphics settings so that you can see through things like smokes easier, along with making dark areas of the map actually more bright. However, if you go inside the smoke or are just outside of it, it's actually easier to see the players if you have maximum graphics. Of course, if you're running max graphics, you'll have terrible FPS. So I would not advise this unless you have literally the best advice known to man. High and very high are really just holding you back. In my opinion, the best way to play is on lowest graphics with maximum frame rate, just so you can play COD Mobile for longer without your device heating up. Next up, you're gonna want to clean up your HUD, because I mean, some of you guys are rocking a complete mess where you have buttons in the middle of your screen that aren't even transparent, meaning they block your vision from being able to see anyone on the map. Make them transparent, at least if they're in the middle of your screen for your line of sight. Now it's time to talk about audio. There's loads of different audio settings in the game. Of course, you're going to want to turn your SFX all the way up so that you can hear gunshots and footsteps. However, you're going to definitely want to turn off ambient sound, as this is responsible for background noises like wind and birds. That's some stuff you do not need to hear inside of your games. Instead of sliding it down, I recommend just turning it completely off. It doesn't help you at all. Did you know there's actually an auto lean function in the game currently? It's only for the MG82, but I think that they're gonna release it for every gun in the future. No promises, but fingers crossed. Next up, if you wanna get better at Call of Duty Mobile, you need to turn off dynamically hiding crosshair. Because when you're running around the map, it turns your crosshair off completely, and it doesn't come back until you start walking or just stand still. In my opinion, it's a terrible setting, and it will probably just throw you off, at least until you get used to it. But what's the point of getting used to it in the first place if it really does nothing for you? If you've never heard of this, you're probably living under a rock, but you should really be reload cancelled. If you don't know what this is, it's the act of aiming down your sight as soon as the bullets appear on your mag. By that, I mean the little gun icon on your screen. As soon as you see bullets go in there, you're good to aim down your sight and start shooting. You do not need to wait for the end of the animation. However, if you do this many times, you may screw up a couple of times here and there, especially if you've just started doing it from this tip. A lot of the pros will have no problem doing this, and they have all been doing it like me for years, ever since the game released. But it's just one of those things that nobody really talks about that all the pros do, and maybe you never realize. If you want to get out of prone position really quick, what you need to do is change your quick prone settings. You need to turn it from off to on. This is going to allow you to get up fast from proning instead of being a long drawn out task. It's exceptionally good for getting out of situations once you've blown your cover, or simply you just want to rotate. Definitely something you want to use. Also, last year, COD Mobile released a fast climb button. You can turn it off, auto, or on fully, giving you more control. If you have it on, you simply can climb obstacles about 1.5 times the speed. So it's definitely useful if you find yourself doing parkour around the map to get out of situations. If not, then it's kind of up to you to decide. Personally, for me, if I'm playing respawns, I probably would do it, because there's so much going on, you never know where you're going to be in the map. If you're playing search and destroy, it's maybe less useful, unless you're one of those crazy 1v5 TikTok clippers. He does it! If you're a sniper, on the other hand, you're going to want to turn off ADS curve, because if you have it on, it makes your sniper appear like that it aims down sight slower. And nobody wants a sniper aiming down their sight slower. They want it to be as fast as possible, because if you miss that shot, you're going to die. So you need to make sure that you're aiming down fast as possible to hit the shot and then survive. I will say, this is actually a super underrated tip. Between you and me, you have to do this if you're using a sniper inside of COD Mobile. Next, we have perspective teammate. Have you ever been watching a live stream and wondered why is there blue wall hacks going through everyone's COD Mobile? Well, that's simply the perspective teammate setting. If you have it off, you'll only see your teammate's name above their head, and if you have it on, you'll be able to see the entire outline of their body, giving you an exact location of where they are in the map, so that if they die, you know where they died around. This will obviously give you info on the enemy if you don't want to pull out your mini-map and see where they died on that. Quickens up your game, increases the likelihood that you know where the enemies are coming from, and of course, makes you a better player. For Battle Royale, you're going to want to be turning on this setting, bullet sound effects. Now, at first glance, you'll probably think, why do I need that? Well, if you're using a headset or have audio on your device, this will help you identify what angle a player is shooting from. As you will be able to hear the bullets whiz past your head, which will also translate into your audio, meaning that you can tell exactly where they're shooting you from, depending on where you're facing. Another one for Battle Royale is putting your vehicle sensitivity up to the max, literally 300, as it will allow you to turn your vehicle as fast as humanly possible instead of being really slow and not being able to get out of situations because you can't turn the car quick enough. So definitely max out your speed sensitivity for your vehicles. If you made it to the end, subscribe.